This video is brought to you by Ridge Wallet, a slim front pocket wallet available in carbon fiber and titanium. With more than 250,000 sold, a lifetime guarantee and free shipping, get 10% off with the code GOLDFISH at ridgewallet.com. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another Instant Deck Tech. So as you know, Wednesday means it's Wild Card Wednesday here in Instant Deck Tech land, and this week's deck, definitely wild. We are heading to Legacy this week for a deck that actually looks a lot like one of the original Modern decks, Mono Blue Infect. So this deck, it's very similar to a Modern deck that lasted for about one Pro Tour and then was banned out of the format. It is extremely fast, looking to win on turn 2 with a good draw by turn 3 or turn 4. It comes to us from Rody, who took it to a 5-0 finish in a Legacy League on Magic Online. So congrats to Rody on a super sweet deck. Oh yeah, before we talk about the deck, also want to mention only $800 in the paper world. I know $800 is not free, it's not even cheap, but compared to Underground Seas being like $700 for one copy and Legacy decks being $3,000, $4,000, kind of budget friendly for the Legacy format, at least like compared to the other decks in the format. So budget-ish, and also like half of that price is Force of Will, which is a ultra staple in the format. So if you're gonna buy any card for Legacy outside of like mana based stuff, probably the best card you can own. Anyway, let's talk some Mono Blue Infect for Legacy. But first, a quick reminder, if you enjoy this deck and you want to see it made into videos, take a minute, click the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment, anything you can do to support your deck, because whichever deck is most popular gets a shot at being made into videos next week. So Mono Blue Infect is built around 2 Infect creatures. We only have 2 real Infect threats in the entire deck, Blighted Agent and Inkmoth Nexus. So these creatures are relatively similar in our decks. If we want to win on turn number 2, we do need to have the Inkmoth Nexus because it's a little bit faster, a little bit cheaper. Blighted Agent, though, has the upside of being unblockable, and we could still win on turn 3 with Blighted Agent. So step 1 of this deck is find one of our Infect creatures. Get an Infect creature on the battlefield. Step 2 of the deck is Blazing Shoal. So Blazing Shoal is this really weird instant. It costs a lot of mana, 2 red in X, and you give a creature plus X plus 0. The big deal is, instead of paying actual mana for it, you can just exile a red card with converted mana cost of X from your hand, and use that for the X cost. So the plan of this deck is to get the Infect creature, find the Blazing Shoal, and then exile a massive red card from our hand. Progenitus or Searing Winds, either one gets the job done. So the idea here is if we get our Infect creature going, we cast a Blazing Shoal, we exile a Progenitus, we're going to give our Inkmoth or our Blighted Agent plus 10 plus 0. So that is more than lethal Infect damage. Searing Wind also gets the job done, just hitting our opponent for 10 Infect. So with either Blighted Agent or Inkmoth Nexus, this combination of cards, Blazing Shoal to exile either one of our red cards, just wins the game in a single attack step. With Inkmoth Nexus, we can do this on turn 2. We just play Inkmoth on turn 1, turn 2, we spend our mana to activate, attack. Our stuff doesn't cost any mana, it is straight up free, so we just kill our opponent in one shot. With Blighted Agent, it's more like turn 3, but still, an extremely fast combo when we have all of our pieces. The other sweet part of this deck is Cunning Wish. So Cunning Wish is like a way to find all of our combo pieces. You probably noticed we only had 3 Blazing Shoals in our deck, only 1 Searing Wind in our deck, and that is because we want to be able to use Cunning Wish to tutor up additional copies from our sideboard. So let's say we're going to combo off, we have our Blazing Shoal, but we don't happen to have a big red card. We can tutor up a Searing Wind with Cunning Wish and kill our opponent. Or on the other hand, maybe we have Searing Wind or Progenitus, but don't have Blazing Shoal. Cunning Wish tutors it up, kills our opponent. If we have our entire combo, we can tutor up a Pact of Negation for a little bit more protection to counter like a Swords to Plowshares or something. So Cunning Wish, really sweet idea to find all of our combo pieces a little more consistently. Speaking of Pact of Negation, the rest of the deck is really simple. We have a million free counter spells because we want to do basically one thing with this deck. Set up our combo as quickly as possible, protect it as much as possible. So while the combo is really fast, it's also fragile. A Fatal Push, a Swords to Plowshares, a Lightning Bolt on our Blighted Agent or Inkmoth Nexus, because remember, Blazing Shoal only pumps power, so our Inkmoth's still gonna have 1 toughness, meaning it dies to literally everything. Having a million counters, though, means that we can fight through some amount of disruption and still get in that big Infect attack. So Force of Will, free counter. Pact Negation, free counter. Sure, we'll die on our next turn, but there isn't going to be a next turn because we're just going to kill our opponent right away. Daze, a free kind of soft counter. Spell Pierce, an extra counter. Otherwise, the last part of the non-land cards in the main deck are just a ton of cantrips. Brainstorm, Ponder, Preordain, even Impulse. These are just ways to dig through our deck and find our combo pieces. Find the Infect creature, find the Blazing Shoal or a Cunning Wish to find it, find a big red thing to exile the Blazing Shoal. So it adds a ton of consistency to our deck to find our combo pieces every game as quickly as possible. As far as the mana base, we already talked about Inkmoth Nexus. Otherwise, we got some fetch lands, we have basic islands. The fetch lands are just to shuffle for Brainstorm. You could play without the fetch lands if you wanted to be even more budget friendly. However, you'd probably have to drop Brainstorm because Brainstorm is not very good if you can't actually shuffle back the bad cards. In the sideboard, we already talked about some of our tutor targets, Blazing Shoal, Searing Winds. We also have Show and Tell, which is pretty sweet because we can bring it in and just dump Progenitus into play and kill our opponent in 2 turns with a 10-10 protection from anything. More counters, Echoing Truth for a bit of bouncing. Also with the Show and Tell package, we can go full force as like a transformational sideboard and also bring in Omniscience and Enter the Infinite. So if we Show and Tell, if we're going on that plan, just having the Progenituses probably isn't enough, but we can Show and Tell, putting Omniscience into play, use Enter the Infinite to draw our entire deck, and then we have 1 copy of Searing Wind in our main deck, another one in our sideboard we can Cunning Wish for, so we can just 20 our opponent with 2 Searing Winds directly to their face after Show and Telling Omniscience into play. So a really sweet transformational sideboard plan. If our opponent has Infect covered or has a ton of ways to kill our stuff, a super sweet way to win by surprise. And that is Mono Blue Infect for Legacy. And that's been our Wildcard Wednesday Instant Deck Tech for this week. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.